guys, it's Gran again on day 18 of reading through Christmas, and I hope you had a good supper and that you got to play maybe in the snow today because it was so beautiful. It was the exact right temperature and the snow kind of stuck together, so if you wanted to, you could make a snowman maybe. At least here, that's how the snow was. Hi Mary, I went out and shoveled a little bit of snow today and it just stuck together. So I think it could have had a really good snowball fight. Oops. Or maybe built a couple of snowmen. And so it was a fun day. Today's story is about a little girl who has a kimono. I don't know where she lives. Maybe she lives here in Canada. Maybe we'll find out in the story. I wanted to show you, this is my closest thing I have that's from Japan. I got it unexpectedly. I discovered it, and I know it's possibly part of something that you wear with a kimono, but I'm not sure. But all of the pretty flowers are stitched on. Can you see that? How they're slightly raised there? So someone sewed those all on to make the pretty flower that's on it. And when you wear a kimono, there's a piece that goes around your middle to help hold everything together, and it's tied just so. So, if everybody's settled in and comfortable, hi Vet, hi Trudy, hi Sherry. I'm hoping that maybe Luke is watching and Brandon, because my friend said that those little people watch. And I'm hoping that Neva and Arlo and Elijah and Jacob and Isaac and Aaron and Bennett and Kai and Rayan and Merrick and maybe Mackenzie and Brandon and Brooklyn. Who knows who's watching tonight? Tonight's story is called Suki's Kimono. And again, I believe this might be something that you would wear with a kimono. And it's got really pretty stitching and it's a really soft purple. So this book is written by Chieri, Uegaki. I'm probably saying her name wrong, so I apologize in advance. And Stephane, Jorisch, or Jorisch. So, the very first page shows kite flying, and she has on a kimono and her little shoes that you wear. Hi. Hi, Emily. Hi, Taylor. Hi, Rhea. When you get to watch it, I hope you have fun. Suki's Kimono. Have you seen someone wear one before? It's not something that we generally wear, but this is something that Suki's family wears. On the first day of school, Suki wanted to wear her kimono. Her sister did not approve. "You can't wear that," Mari said. "People will think you're weird." "You can't wear that," said Yumi. "Everyone will laugh and no one will play with you. You need something new, Suki. You need something cool." So here's Suki in her lovely kimono that she loves. And there's her big sisters wearing all the things that you wear regularly to school. But Suki shook her head. She didn't care for new. She didn't care for cool. She wanted to wear her favorite thing. And her favorite thing was her kimono. Suki's Oba-chan had given her the kimono. Oba-chan is grandma. The first time Suki wore it, her Oba-chan took her to a street festival where they slurped bowls of slippery, cold some noodles and shared a cone of crunchy shaved ice topped with sweet red bean sauce. Wow, that's something I've not had. I bet it would be really tasty. Here she is coming down the stairs in the morning. This is what her house looks like. And here she is remembering when she got her kimono from her grandmother. Her, what is the proper word? Oba-chan. And there they are at the festival together, having a great time, eating noodles and shaved ice. At the same festival, under the strings of paper lanterns, Suki joined her Oba-chan in a circle dance. She followed her and copied her movements, trying to be as light and graceful. She watched the other women and children who danced, especially those who were dressed in cotton kimonos like her. Do you see them all dancing? This looks like a kite flying festival almost. So different countries and different places and different traditions have different things that they celebrate. And it's so exciting to learn about them because it helps us to understand each other better. And who doesn't like to fly a kite or wear fun things? Later, Suki sat so close to the stage that when the Takao drummers performed boom, 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 she felt like she'd swallowed a ball of thunder and her whole insides quaked and quivered. Do you see the big drums? And she's sitting right up close with her Oba-chan so she can hear and feel the drums. Have you ever been where there's music and you can feel the drums right inside your chest? Before they left the festival, Suki and her Oba-chan stopped at a souvenir stand. There were many things to choose from, but her Oba-chan found the prettiest thing of all, a handkerchief of pale pink linen decorated with tiny maple leaves and cherry blossoms. When she gave it to Suki, she said, "This will help you to remember our day." So after the music, they went and she got a scarf, a soft, soft scarf. I think I'm choking myself here. It's slipping and sliding. So many people, so loud. Did you see the drummers? Have you seen these kinds of drummers? They spin the sticks as they go bum, 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 bum. It is amazing. If you have a chance to see the big drums and they spin and twirl while they drum, you make sure to get to see it. You could probably even look for a YouTube video of it. Now, we're back to right this minute in Suki's little life. Now it was time for school. Mother checked Suki's obi one last time and took a picture of Mari and Yumi and Suki together by the front step. Have you done that on the first day of school? Taken a picture with your brothers and sisters together? Or just you, a special picture, maybe with a sign saying what grade you're going into? That's what they had. Then, as she watched, the three girls made their way down the block to their school. Mari and Yumi stayed several paces ahead of Suki and pretended they didn't know her. That's happened to almost everyone. Here she is in her kimono, and here's her sisters in what they think is a cool thing to wear. And here's Mom getting a picture. And there they are walking to school together. Suki even has her parasol, her paper umbrella, to keep the sun off her while she walks in her kimono. But Suki didn't mind. She turned and waved to her mother before she clip-clopped along in her shiny red geta, feeling very pleased in her fan-patterned blue kimono. So her little red shoes, they're little wooden shoes, and they're called geta. Did you see those little flat shoes? And see the fans on her kimono? Can you see the fans on her kimono and her little red shoes and the paper parasol? And her sisters, did you see the look on her sisters' faces? Wow. Hi. Once in a while, Suki would lift her arms and let the butterfly sleeves flutter in the breeze. It made her feel like she'd grown her own set of wings. So here she is walking down the street, and she's got her arms flapped, and there's people around her passing by. Everyone's walking to school or going to work or carrying on again. This is another one in a big city. This is a big city street. And she's so happy flying along in her kimono. When they reached the school, Mari and Yumi hurried across the yard to a group of their friends. Suki stopped and looked around. Some of the children had turned and stared at her. Others giggled and pointed at her kimono. But Suki ignored them. She took a seat on a swing to wait for the bell. A girl dressed in overalls, just like a pair Suki had at home, sat on the swing beside her. "Hi, Suki," said the girl. "Hi, Penny," said Suki. So here's all the kids in the playground. And they're all in their little groups like you see when you go to school. And here's Penny and Suki, and they're together on the swings. And they're not the same, but they're fine. "How come you're dressed so funny?" Penny asked. "Where'd you get those shoes?" Suki lifted her feet off the sand and wiggled her toes. "I'm not dressed funny," she said. "My grandma gave me these shoes." Suki started pumping her legs. After a moment, Penny did the same, and soon they were both swinging fast and as high as they could. Swoosh, swoosh, up and up. So here we are. Here she's got her little red shoes lifted up, and her friends asking about them. And here they are swinging higher and higher together. Do you like to go on the swing? It's kind of fun, isn't it? It's a good time. Swinging back and forth. Even big people like swings. So now Suki still has on her kimono because she's at school. She's not going to change. And it's time for them to go in. When the bell rang, Suki and Penny jumped off the swings and ran to the gym for the first day assembly. Once they were finally taken to their new classroom, Suki chose a desk next, near the window. Penny chose a desk next to Suki, and as they waited for everyone to find a seat, two boys in front of Suki turned and snickered behind their hands. One of the boys reached over and snatched at Suki's sleeve. "Look at this," he said. "She's a bat." So here's the two friends together. And the first boy comes and the second boy comes, and there he is pulling at her sleeve. Some people just can't leave other people alone. Long time ago, people used to dip other people's hair in ink. So nothing's changed. People still get silly sometimes at school. Suki felt her cheeks burn, but she did not respond. Instead, She concentrated on sitting up straight and tall the way her oba-chan always did. It was easy to do with an obi wrapped snug around her middle. Her obi was golden yellow, and in its folds, Suki had tucked away her pale pink handkerchief. Remember, her oba-chan had given it to her? So here she is sitting up nice and straight with this obi in her middle, tied around her middle, which is, I think, possibly what this is actually. And she's trying to sit up straight and pay attention, which can be really hard at school sometimes, especially when people are pulling on your sleeves. "Welcome to first grade," said the teacher. "My name is Mrs. Paggio." She smiled. "Let's introduce ourselves and tell everyone what we did this summer." When her turn came to speak, Suki stood up and told the teacher her name. "Hello, Suki," said Miss Paggio. "And what did you do this summer?" "My grandma visited us," she said, straightening her sleeves. "She brought me my kimono and my gita." Suki raised her foot to show the teacher her wooden clog. So it was a special gift from her grandmother, both the shoes and the kimono and the pink handkerchief. Somewhere in the classroom, someone laughed, but Suki took a deep breath and continued. "The best thing was that she took me to a festival, and there were dancing girls dressed like me, and they danced like this." And she took a few steps and swayed her arms sideways. So now everyone in class is watching her. Can you see that? They all understand a little bit better about why Suki wanted to wear her kimono. Let's see. "Look how she's dancing," someone said, but Suki didn't hear. She hummed the music she remembered hearing at the festival. She remembered how it felt to dance barefoot in the open air on fresh-cut grass that tickled her toes. She tried to picture the other dancers, how they moved forward in the circle with the rhythm of the music, how they stamped their feet, first right, then left, and swung their arms first up, then down, how they stepped back and back and back and clapped. When Suki couldn't remember the next step, she just made it up, just to keep dancing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, stop! Here's Suki dancing for all her class to see in her kimono from her grandmother. She's having a great time. When she finished, the room seemed very quiet. Everyone was watching her. Suki sat down wondering if she was in trouble. See all the kids? Whoops. But Mrs. Paggio said, "That was wonderful, Suki," and she started to clap. Then so did Penny, and after a moment, so did the entire class. Do you see your friend Penny right here? After school, as the three sisters walked home together, Mari and Yumi grumbled about their first day. "No one even noticed my new sweater," said Mari. "No one even noticed my cool shoes," said Yumi. But Suki just smiled. As she clopped along behind them, Suki pulled out the pale pink handkerchief from her obi and held it up over her head to catch the wind. And in her blue cotton kimono and her shiny red gita, Suki danced all the way home. So, I guess we don't all have to be the same, and we can show people interesting things about us. And sometimes people don't understand, and that's okay. We can just do our best to share what's unique. And there's always something interesting that we can learn about people from different spots. And I'd like it if you could take the time to look up about the Kite Flying Festival, because I'm pretty sure that's where the grandma, the Oba-chan, took Suki in her kimono. I hope you have a really good evening. This has been Suki's Kimono. So, see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams. Jesus keep you, and have a really good night. Bye-bye.